Hello and welcome back to Infinifactory. Today we are going to work on the Terrestrial Surveyor. Let's see. Obviously there's going to be a teleportation device. Alright, so that guy right there is what we're building. But we're bringing all of those blocks through the teleporter, which is going to make this a bit tough, I'd say.
This is it, your big moment. This is it, your big moment.
Says you. Okay, nothing there, so I think we can pretty confidently put down a belt, and we'll have to decide. I'm going to imagine that we're going to want this to be up in the air. Like, I don't think we can do everything we want down here, so I think we're going to have to raise it up. Shit. I did not realize that it was like this. Is this how we're doing this?
They didn't put up much of a fight. I almost feel bad about it.
I definitely feel bad about it. Okay, we're going to want to build a very similar system to what we had before. I could eviscerate if I wanted to, but I don't really think that's necessary. Let's just see how that functions. That's not going to function at all. Silly me. What a silly fucking mistake that was. Alright. Oh, it corrected itself? Cool. Cool. Okay. So this should handle the center column. Oh. I actually think this is going to work just fine. So the center column's going to get destroyed, and then the tracks will take their turns. Yeah, that's fine. I have no real issue with that at all. And they're coming through these three, the top piece, and then the back piece. And that's going to make this a little bit complicated, but it's not going to be too terrible, I don't think. So let's reset it. And let's... Ooh. Okay, all we really need And I am really quite the fan of this edition. We just need one of those. And then one of these. Okay. Now let's see how that looks. Okay, that's pretty nice. We'll probably make this a little bit longer so that every piece can get on the line. And then we'll shove them off into their own individual lines and just have it assemble on a welder. You know, we've done that 1,000 times. I'm thinking that's what we're going to do again. So I think we need to add about 7 more to this. Turn that sideways. Throw a sensor on here. And probably get away with just throwing the whole system to the side, but if it becomes an issue, we can alternate which direction things go. And honestly, that's kind of what I'm expecting I'm going to do, but for now, let's build it like that. Let her run. There we go. And that is exactly what we want. And it looks like we don't even need to put any like rotation on this. Like this thing can just do this and be fine. That's what I'm seeing. So yep, this is just going to be an issue of let's move everything into position. Okay, building the welding station is going to be the bit that I'm a little bit unsure about, but I'm not too worried about it. Alright, let's just try to put the welder right here. And what we're going to want is that actually perfect? Let me see. 1, 2, 3. No, it's not. So that'll go like that. And that'll go like that. Alright. And then Yeah, I'm not too sure about getting these welded together. I'm a little nervous about that, but I think it's something we can pull off. I'm not wildly upset about it, but let's continue with the plan we have. And that is going to put that welder right there to weld the top piece on. And if we weld this piece on early, then we can't put the vertical welders where I was planning to. I could always have retracting welders if I need them, but that's really not what I'm wanting right now. I'm gonna try something different here. Alright. So, the first thing we need is the track, which is going to be these lines. So, let's focus, if we can, on getting that into position. Like so. Okay. That should do that. And then we need a little bit more from the next piece. Good, good, good. And I think for this one, not what I meant to do. We'll do that again. And then the only piece we have is the top piece, which needs to be on a hefty delay. Probably coming in like this. It's just going to be a matter of how much delay we need to add to that. But so far, I think we're in a good position. Okay, that all gets sent away. We make a couple tracks. Okay, that failed. That failed really hard. Okay, so track number 1 gets pushed off right to here. The problem we're having is that track number 2 is falling down on the same board, which is not acceptable. So this, I think, is where we have to do the conduit swap. Which is fine, because, like I said, this was expected. It was just a matter of seeing where exactly that needed to happen. So now, those get shoved off. First one goes in here. Second one behind it, third one behind it. There you go. That should do the job just fine. Alright, let's try this again. A couple little tweaks there. Okay, everything comes in. Where are we at? Everything shoved off. Okay. This is fine. We just need to add that. Another little tweak, not a big deal. Okay, those pieces are made. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, that's cool, except that somehow that track failed. We need a track to get there first, so that could be a problem by itself. But first off, what's happening? You forgot to put the other weld on there. Boop. that's problem one. Now let's see. I doubt this is gonna work because we need the track needs to get there first. Okay, so we turn that out like so. And then turn that in like so. But now we need to add like delays to this system. So really it's just the third one. Like this block just needs a delay. So let's give it like 5 right now. And see how that goes. Let's just see what that does. We don't need to delay the whole system. We just need to delay the block that's pushing it out. So all those 3 blocks are in place, which is fine. And then that track gets there. Oh, okay, that's just a little bit too much delay. We're very close. Let's throw this guy up. Get rid of that. Okay, just tweaking the delay just a touch. Okay, everything gets cool. Track number 1 comes in. That's gone, and I think that would do it, except that I still haven't put that piece of track in there. I don't know how I kept forgetting to do that. I saw that fail like 5 times and I still never fixed it. Track, everything's cool. What happened? Something failed. Something failed. Something failed. Okay, this track comes in. That's cool. Oh, that thing's getting there too fast. All right. That's cool too. That's cool too. Let's turn this out. We're just gonna add a few. You know, we don't think we need to add a ton to this. Yeah, that piece was getting there too fast. Right now, this is just timing. We've got all the mechanical parts in place. That's it. Done. All right, let's do the talk through. Yeah, this was relatively easy. The same sort of solution you've seen me do 1,000 times. Just a lot of layers too, which I like. I think this, just aesthetically, this looks like a beautiful solution. But let's go ahead and do the talk. So we've seen this before from me. The machine comes down, the center gets destroyed, and then with this little T formation at the end, I have one piece move in and then move back. It gets destroyed, and then the other piece, once it's out of the way, the other piece moves back, moves in, and moves back. Okay, that's your destruction. It comes out the other side, takes one step out, and then hits a lifter. Because, like I said, I didn't think we could do it all on the ground. We could have, of course, but a lot simpler when we've got this third dimension to play with. So, the whole thing comes down in the order it came to. Once the first piece gets to the end, it will trigger all of these 9, 10 push blocks behind it and shove each piece off of the belt where they can go where they're needed. Okay? The first piece is actually going to be this track on the opposite side. They all fall down onto these 3 belts. One moves into the welder, the next one moves in, comes to the welder, they get welded together. The third one goes in, comes over, gets welded to the second piece, and pushes the first piece out so that the whole thing can be carried out. It gets turned and comes into this welder, and it's going to be the first one in, and it's going to be the same system here. This is going to push it on the front. When the next piece comes along, it pushes that piece into the center. The second piece is here, so those two get welded together. The second piece is these 4 plain blocks. 1, 2, and 3. 1 just drops straight into the welder. 2 and 3 will actually drop on top of each other behind it, so those 3 will immediately get welded together. The fourth piece is on a little bit of a delay. It goes back a little bit, drops down, and then we'll just come in. Same thing, just come in and hit this delay on the welder, which will weld it to the middle piece, and also push the whole thing out. And then it just gets carried into the large welder behind the first piece of track. So the first piece of track is going to be sitting here. The plane blocks are going to come over and just shove the track in. Those two will get welded together. The second piece of track, they fall down here. This piece right on a welder. This piece comes in, gets welded to it. This piece comes in, gets welded to it, and pushes the whole thing forward. And it just comes down, falls right on this little sideways piece here. And by the time it gets there, the plane blocks are going to be here. So the plane blocks are going to be here. It's going to shove the whole unit forward with these two welders. This track gets welded to the plane blocks. Now that's all welded together. And the final piece is this top bit, which goes down, falls, and goes back, just because it needs to be on a delay. Goes back, comes out, and all in one moment, it will sit on top of the center plane block, get welded to that, and because it's welded to it, this top conveyor is going to move the whole machine out, where it gets caught by this belt and pushed onto the output. Pretty simple design. Pretty happy with how it turned out. Let's watch it in action. Plane blocks getting welded. That thing's on a little bit of delay. Track gets there. Plane blocks, track, boom, out. That all happens very fast. Look, this track comes in. Damn it. Wrong button. Alright, this track gets made on the welder down there, comes over. The last piece of the plane blocks is on a delay. So this track gets here, gets onto the large welder right as the plane blocks are getting there. That's going to shove the track over, they get welded together. The other piece of track lands, shoves the whole thing over, they get welded together, and just then the top piece comes on, gets welded, and that conveyor pushes the whole thing out. Very nicely done. Let's while it's running, let's look at individual pieces. There's one track going on its way. Here's the plane blocks. They stack and weld. This one on a delay. Pushes it along. There. Oh, no! It's failed. Look. I don't know how or why, but it. Why did that happen? Well, I know why. It came in a different order. It got disassembled in a different order on like the fourth one. That should never happen. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. Like, that should never happen. Why would that have happened? Look. This is ridiculous. This is straight up ridiculous. Nothing's going differently there, but for some reason here it is. Two, three, that. There's all the track. 1, 2, 3, that, and then there's a track. That piece is missing for some reason. Somehow that piece just... it fell. It's down there. What the fuck? track. Yep. Okay. There it is. They just came through too fast. Maybe if I just seal it like that? Alright, we've seen how it works, so let's just fast forward through. Let's see if that little seal fixes the problem. I don't know which number the problem was occurring on, though. Alright, I think that's good. I think that little seal fixed it. Yeah, that one piece was just falling off because it was coming through the teleporter too fast. But we fixed it now. It was coming through too fast. It just got pushed over the blower, and it was messing up the whole system. But we are all right now, and the last one is done. Not bad marks either. Obviously, we could lower block score if we wanted, but footprint score in the middle of the low average, and on the small side of the average on cycle score as well. So, pretty pleased with that. A little bit of a weird error there, but we easily identified the problem and created a solution to the problem. So I am fine with all that, and I hope you are fine with joining me next time as we do an anti-javelin satellite. I will see you there.